wonderful to gather again. Again, our reflection leader is our partner in conversation, Robert Coleman. Robin is known in the community as the gentleman artist. He's an amazing artist, and he's also very involved in the community. And we've been able to connect with Robert in block parties and cookouts and community gatherings where he's also been very generous in teaching people to do art in the community, particularly young people. So Robert is one of those artists who's so generous that he believes everybody can do art.
They can. You still owe me a painting. You forgot.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. So again, welcome everyone our come together for this evening. Our program process, we begin with this time of welcome and introduction as you are sharing your name and where you're located. And then that's centering time. We have a meditation for reflection that will go a little longer than we may be accustomed to of our Native American Indigenous voice and celebration of Thanksgiving. And it's an 11-minute centering. And so I invite you to make yourself comfortable, open up your mind and your heart as we celebrate Thanksgiving in the voice and language of our brothers and sisters who are the original inhabitants of this land. And then we'll follow the centering with Robert and conversation. And Robert is going to do 2 pieces of art during your time with us. And you'll hear a little bit more about that during our convening. And they'll are both, of course, original pieces. And then we have our breakout connecting time, where you will go into breakout rooms, 2 or 3 people together. And that's really kind of the sweet spot of our gathering, where you share what you have experienced during the time of reflection, the impact that it has on you, but really listening, not just with our heads, but with our whole being, but the experience and reflection with one another. And then we will complete our come together gathering with the sending. For that, let's make ourselves comfortable. Put your feet on the ground, keep your body comfortable, and as we share this time of Thanksgiving.
Imagine that I'm taking a soft feather.
In just a minute, we're getting the video ready. Sumner, hey Sumner, we're seeing Spotify.
Sorry, everybody.
It's all good. Off the Spotify. There we go. You can hear it. Now we're not seeing it.
I see it, Dan.
Okay, good. Awesome.
Hold on, let me do it again. What? We could see it that last time, everybody? Nod your head if you could see it. Hey, yay! Okay, hold on. Everybody make sure to give Dan static in the chat, will you? Just for making me feel like I wasn't able to do it.
Dan,
Just kidding, just
fine.
kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Here we go.
Quiet time is good anyway.
We are.
Thank you, Sumner.
Imagine that I'm taking a soft piece of dough skin and that I'm wiping the tears from your eyes that you may have accumulated from any grief that you're experiencing in your life. Imagine that I'm taking a soft feather and that I'm wiping any dust out of your ears so that you can hear clearly now the words that are going to be spoken that we've come together. And then imagine that I'm giving you a cool drink of water to help clear the lump from your throat, also from some grief that you may be carrying. After that, we would go into the words of greetings and love and thankfulness to all of the things in the natural world, known as the Ohanda Galehudekwa, or the Thanksgiving Address. Whenever Lodinushuni people gather, they always begin with the Ohanda Galehudekwa, or the Thanksgiving Address. It is an expression of greetings, love, and thankfulness to everything in the natural world that allows us to be human. You're going to hear this first in Ganyekeha, in the Mohawk language, with Ryan DeCare, and I'll guide you through in English. Before speaking about each new element, Ryan will say, and now we bring our minds together as one, and we send our greetings and our thankfulness to each one of the things that you'll see. At the end of each one, he will say, and now our minds are one.
Agwego skonde to hui nuni no kwa nikumra tanu de tin hora tu ne ngwe sum aye nagare ji hunjata ji se ko rodio ta je jin hoto rona deri hum tu ne na yawo ne skon au ton di ji hunjata kadi na yutu ha genu kwa nikumra agwego skonde to hui nuni no kwa nikumra tanu de tin hora tu ne ye ti ni sta hunja yagori wado go ji de ko ka ha je na ko sat sta sera Negui ti ko ti ngo tu hunjoni ne ai jun hege tanu skona dai ta wata worie yuru kwe na ke ka ti na yutu ha ge nu ko nikumla agwe go skon de wa hui nuni nu ko nikumla tanu de tin horat ne ka ni karon yu si se go yudi wa to ko ti yunat ne ka tu ju ha je na ya wo ne ayun ko nya ta na wo nun yun ko nya ta tas tanu nam ja gara ke we jin ho to wa het ko ska yu hu ja ke Ona gadi a gwego skande to hui nuni na kwa nikum na tanu de tin hura to ne nya de kancha ke o ke kunti ter ji se ko yodi no hare nyu ha je ji ka ni karonyo tanu da yu nat ka o ha je na di war na yaw ne jun he kwa yun kwa tum se a gwego skande to hui nuni na kwa nikum na tanu de tin hura to ne yu tundu ni sung ko yen thoi nya te ka hum ta ke nya te ka te ra ke tanu nya te ka gui ra ke gui wa hi da wa nya he je ne ai ta wa ke no na te wa tung ka yaks tana yung kijon te non yung ko nung waktani ona gadi a gwego skande de wa hui nuni no gwa ni kumra tano de tin hora to ne oji nuwa sum a nya te ka ji nu ma ge gui wa hi sago te ro hun ja ge ne da yo di hoi na wa go ha ge tano ayo di en ras tu ha je ge ji hun ja te na yaw ne a gwego skon a tondi ona gadi a gwego skande de wa hui nuni no gwa ni kumra tano de tin hora to ne jun he ko Nya de ku aze sun ayong kwa yong ka he ta ku sun ji nu yong kwa yun tho ser ne gui o ni de tin hora de a sun ni ko te go a o no ste o na usara ta no usa he ta ne ga de ko ko skan de wa hui nu ni kwa ni kum na ta no de tin hora de ne wa hian ni tha nya te wa ya ke ka yong hun ta ge ne ai ta wa ge ai ta wa ne ko nya de ta no dai ta wa yes te ne jun he ko de tin hora de o ni ni hun de sa negui ti ko honda de sagutastu ne sunkoya disu aganori ne negahi suma. Agwego oskonde toa hui nuni no kwa ni kumra tano de tin horatu ne gar haronyo tano karunta kwe ni yu tini ku karun toto hunjake. Wahta ni usanota. Segu te wanya heza na aita watste aita watenu sunyate aita wataja dadariha tano no motora tano jun he kwa yung kwa atumse. Agwego oskonde toa hui nuni no kwa ni kumra tano de tin horatu ne uji ton ugum agundi nagre ju hunjate tano ne kwa digo wana akweks ni usanota. Ci sego de yonatka o hajinauti satston-sera. Agwego oskonde toa hui nuni no kwa nigmra tano de tin horado ne nya negariota ke de yonata warrior jigar haronyo. Ci sego ye tikos jiguti da kenojes gar hagumsu. Tano de yonatka o hajinauti warm tano audi nehm. Agwego oskonde toa hui nuni no kwa nigmra tano de tin horado ne gayeri ni ugonrare. O tareke, onjeke, na kumke. Tano e nigonge no kwa dine jona de werinam. Seguro dio tajit no hotarona deri hunto na yawo ne naita watumye. Agwego oskonde toa hui nuni no kwa nigumra. Tano de tin horado ne yung kisata sonta nekoni terajes. Ci sego i jegum sarajes ci di yung kiswa te doni jini wasundesus na yawo ne skona aftondi ji hunjate. Agwego oskonde toa hui nuni no kwa nigumra. Tano de chida wanu horadum ne chida wachia on jeke neka garakwa. Ci sego tudini tuhajene rau satsdonsera. Ona agwego oskonde toa hui nuni no kwa nigumla tano de tino horado ne yujisto koronyo de yudiswatetum jitkaro hiadajes ci sego yukina tunis jinio gerado ando wajerade non yungo jata tum. Ona gadi nuwa ya tandawa wani hara ne ju nuwa tota de naktara gwani ne sangwaya dezu. Ande we hiara ke zero sa anyo rogo dagwa tano rowina da ma gwego no hoda de wanya heza ai jun hege. Negadi agwego oskonde toa hui nuni no kwa nigumla tano de chida wanu horado ne sangwaya dizum kadi na yo tunha ke no kwa nigumla. Ona gadi tonyore wa kadari wat koini ne ke wana karata te unko wana ok nina yawo ne agwego sa odira suma o hodi tokon se jeniore ji de tin horado stano ye tin rukha. Ya kui de waga di guhruni to ka thenu suke ni ko to ka thenu suke ni ko ise kuin na ne ngo yo to su yang se so wata sutru ni kan horado sera. To ka di ona ni ko wana ke tan ona e tho tan e tho.
Now we bring our minds together as one, and we send our greetings and our thankfulness to all of the people who have gathered here, that we have all arrived here safely. To our mother, the earth, provides everything that we need. To all of the waters on the earth. To the fish in the waters, for keeping them clean and for giving us food. To all of the roots and the shrubs and the bushes. To all of the hanging fruits. In Haudenosaunee country, we acknowledge Gatnia Hundessa, or the strawberry, as they are the first to ripen in the spring. To our sustenance, the corn, the beans, and the squash. To all of the animals. And to the birds for giving us their beautiful songs. To the trees for shelter and shade. And to the four winds from the four directions. To our grandfathers, the thunders. To the sun, our elder brother. To the moon, our grandmother. And to her helpers, the stars. That Ryan mentions are Haudenosaunee specific. First, there is the teachers who have helped us throughout the ages, the prophets. Sometimes we mention one known as Handsome Lake. Then there's the four beings, or their spirit protectors on the other side of the sky, who are always there looking out for us. And lastly, is the one known as the Sungwai Edison, he who has finished our bodies or created our bodies, the creator. And we acknowledge him last for all of the things that he has given to us that exist on the earth and the strength of nature which exists in all things. Anytime Haudenosaunee people gather, they first say the Ohanda Glihudekwon. It's the first matter of business. It's right in the word, Ohanda, before, Glihudekwon, the matter that is set down. This can be done at a ceremonial event, a political or governance event, and also at social events. This is a true Haudenosaunee land acknowledgement. This is the Indigenous protocol. It's also meant to be shared. This was shared with me 30 years ago, and I'm sharing it with you, and I'm telling you that this is something that can enhance your meetings, your daily life, no matter what it is that you've come to do with any people. Acknowledge your humanity first, and you can go from there.
Love that. Indigenous protocol. Making sure. Can you hear me? We're giving is to begin. So our reflection leader tonight is Robert Coleman. I'm getting kickback here, I think. Can you hear me now? Thank you. Again, so we're doing some things a bit differently tonight. Thank you. We're really blessed to have with us Robert Coleman, who's also known as the gentleman artist, who is tonight he's actually completing a art piece, and he's going to do a fresh piece during the time of our convening. One of the goals tonight is that Robert has consented to auction off a piece if anybody wants to have a piece, one of those pieces that they might receive in their home. And that's one of the things today across our nation, certainly our state, is give to the max. So it's maybe an opportunity to give to Robert and support for his art. So Robert, I'll begin by asking Robert a couple of questions. So Robert, when did you know that you were an artist?
To be honest, when I was just a little kid, but there were circumstances, as no encouragement, no guidance, nothing positive. But I knew that I was Bob Ross.
What is Bob Ross?
Bob Ross was a TV painter for PBS in the mid-'80s. He had a big red afro and he painted Happy Little Trees. Mm-hmm. And as a kid, I would just, randomly I would see him on TV, and I was always in awe of what he did, and I knew I was an artist. But having no guidance and nobody telling you what you can do, I didn't have any encouragement, so I never thought that I could actually be an artist. So I never pursued it.
So, as obviously we will all experience, you're an amazing artist. But I think about Cory Booker, Senator Cory Booker. He referenced that some people are born on third base. Would you describe yourself as having been born on third base?
Yes. Evidently, I was born with a gift that I had no idea. And I was sat down at age 47 to make me realize that I had a gift. It wasn't nice that I was sat down, but it was the only way that I think that the man upstairs will get me to understand that he gave me something that it was about time that I started utilizing. So he made it very clear that he was unhappy.
So are you saying that you didn't know that you were an artist until then?
No, I had no idea I was an artist. I knew I could draw, but I always wanted to paint and do other things. I just didn't have no idea that I knew how until I turned 47. And that's when it all happened. And I'm glad. I mean, it's like people think I'm cocky, but it's like breathing. It's that easy for me. It's like breathing. I mean, there's no thought to it. There's no effort. That's what people want to hear, that I struggle, and I don't. I mean, there's no struggle to it. I mean, I think that's when you kind of get you to realize, as a kid, that just hold on to whatever's going on in my life and stand fast, and things will change. And I think this is the thing that he was trying to get me to understand, that to be honest, I was bullied as a kid to the point where I committed suicide. I could have been a first school shooter. There's a lot of things that was going on in my life that he just let me know that whatever happens right now is not a done thing. And if you just, like I said, stand fast and believe that, there's better days coming, he'll show me something. And basically this is what I was shown. So it's not like I want to do it, it's like I have to do it. It's not like it's something that I get up and say, oh my God, I gotta go to my art table. It bothers me sometimes, and I don't, because I know that's the only reason I'm still above ground. And that's the best is being strictly honest.
Well, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions, but tell us about this piece that you're working on now.
I'm a big fan of I'm teaching myself new things, and I've never really done pop art or flashy colors. And I've always been a fan of great people. My wall is filled with great artists I painted. And Nina Simone is just the ones that, to be honest, I didn't think she's very handsome at all, but she's so powerful as an activist and in the role she played in her generation that, most artists don't think about going back in time and painting people that made us who we are. We think about, we open our own doors. That's not true at all. Because somebody before us opened doors to let us, maybe 30 years ago, to give us the opportunity to do what we're doing right now. And she's one of the people that, that had a voice and that used her voice, and her capacity that opened doors, for people like me and other emerging artists, So I try to give her props, in other ways I know other artists won't,
Well, we've got some portraits that you have sent us, an email, and maybe if we pull those up, and you can tell us about some of those artists that have, folks that have inspired you. You can say who they are, and that these are your original pieces.
Yeah, these are original pieces. The first is Muhammad Ali. I tried to go to school, and I was told that I was an idiot genius to just go home and paint. So when I approached my professor and said I want to do a pointillism piece, he tried to talk me out of it. So the results of him trying to talk me out of it is the Ali picture you see, close to 10 million dots, 2 hands, 16-hour days. It took me a little less than a week to get it done.
Say more about the dots.
It's called pointillism. Basically, pretty much, just dab at the paper. You use magic markers. I use micro pens, and every time you set a dot, set the pen down, it makes a point or a dot. And I just grouped them close together, man, and that's what it came out to be. I was inspired, I did that the night I found out he died. Pretty much, I go on a whim. If somebody dies that I respect or whatever, I immediately go to my art table and try to put out something that I like. The next one is charcoal. Of course, it's Jimi Hendrix, 1967 Stockholm. I was born in 67. But again, my professor told me that I would never to find one skill and try to be good at it. And I was like, I'm not going to paint myself in the corner. If I can watercolor and charcoal, why not watercolor, charcoal, and pastel? So he gave me a challenge. See if I can do something in charcoal. And that's the result. And then the next one over, I discovered acrylic pourers, to which they were, just, random colors and just create different abstracts. But I want to take mine to another level, which is circles. Use color schemes to make you think of different planets, different solar systems, whatever. And give an illusion of circles. Just like I said, just makes it look like individually planets or whatever. So that's what I do. And I don't think you see the next one. The next one is one of my very favorites. The first one I did, I gave a really great guy a deal on it. I think he know who he is. I respected the Wakanda and whatever Hollywood was trying to do for Black history. So I decided that no other artist would even attempt to put, the actor, the character, and an actual animal together to, to signify the entire movie without explaining the entire movie. It took me 4 years to do this piece because I got bored and I did not want to mess it up. So I would paint a little bit, throw it in my closet, and that's oil. Just to make sure that I didn't throw too much time or do too much effort in me, because when I think about things too much, I change things, and I don't like to change things as an artist. So I just took my time, and that's the end result. And the next one is like my 5th oil painting. No, my 6th. Yeah, that's my 6th oil painting. I saw it. I think I saw it in a magazine, and I wanted to attempt to do it. And I think I got it done like an hour and a half, maybe. It's 48 by 48, so it's big. It's not small. Another thing about me is most artists, they choose between 8 by 10 or 11 by 14. They'll try to stick to that size because that's the size they're most comfortable working in. I work in large size. I work in small size. Doesn't really matter to me. Just as long as I can get it out, that's what I want to do. And that's why I decided not to lock myself in the corner on different types of art. This next one is they say it's from Puerto Rico, but I wouldn't know. I saw it in a movie, and I immediately jumped up after I saw the scene. I immediately jumped up and went straight to my. That's like the 5th time I've done this piece, so I decided to work on a triple canvas. So basically, I always do a single piece from different angles, but I realized in my mind that I paint things in my head before I put them on canvas. So it doesn't take me long to come up with something that I like, and it's automatically done. I just got to get it on canvas, find the right size. So I figured a three-piece panel will work out pretty nice. So that's number 2. I have one more like that, a different angle with the same piece. So that's what I do. I mean, and right now, I think I showed you the one that one of my favorite pieces here. And I'm gonna paint this again right now. It's like a 10-minute painting, maybe. It usually takes more people like an hour, but the way I paint things, I can knock them down as far as
So we're gonna get to see you actually produce the piece
Yes.
while we're talking.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so basically I just messing with the canvas up. It doesn't really matter how you water canvas. I just learned to work with acrylic.
Mhm.
I never like to put it because it's dry too fast, and me not knowing or having artist background, I did not know what to do to keep it wet.
Mhm.
So I came with a scheme about if I wet the canvas a little bit and then put down the colors I want to put down super fast, the canvas won't have time to dry.
Mhm.
So that's how I learned to use acrylic, because basically I was oil and watercolor. That's the only thing that I would do, and charcoal and that type of thing. But I would stay away from watercolor. I mean acrylic, because it dried too fast. Then I found out also that I could paint left to right-handed. So basically, since I pre-wet the canvas, I can wipe this paint anywhere. And I try to teach people how being an artist is stop looking at things and start actually paying attention. You see clouds every day. You know, you see formations every day. But do you notice the shadows that come from those clouds, the shadows that come from the trees? Those are things I started paying attention to when as a little kid, not knowing that 40 years down the line, I'd be an artist.
Mhm.
I was always fascinated by shadows and stuff like that. But me not having an artist background, not knowing what to do, now I realize that all the work I put in, watching the way the water flows,
Mhm.
the cloud formation, that it will pay off later on in life. And that's what it's doing right now. I really can't explain to you how I know all this stuff. I just know that I know this stuff.
Mhm.
And I make it look easy, as they say. They say I make it look easy. So basically right now I took a little bit of yellow and I'll go in the straight yellow ochre, and I don't know the color wheel. Can't explain to you, but I know I can mix any color on the fly.
Mhm.
So basically, I'm giving an illusion of a nighttime sky as the sunset, as the sun is setting, and basically I use my imagination on what I think that should look like. And one thing I want to tell you guys: if you think about paint right now, there's never a wrong way of doing anything. If it's your painting, that's how I just recently learned that if you want to create something, use your imagination and paint the way you think it should be, and it's yours. Can't nobody say, the sky shouldn't be that color. The clouds shouldn't be looking like that, because it's your painting. And it took me a long time to realize that I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be perfect. Perfect lines,
A lot of things that you're saying, Robert, translate into life in general. We don't have to be perfect. Seeing the shadows in life. I mean, there are a lot of things that you've been mentioning about art that translate into, living more authentically in who we are.
Yeah, as a throwaway kid, I mean, when I say throwaway kid, my mother, pretty much told me she didn't want me. I have 5 other siblings. I'm the second to the youngest. I was driven to the police station and dropped off, in a promise that I wouldn't see her again. She made sure that, anything, but I knew that there was other things that was in store for me. So I didn't let that get to me. I didn't let that debunk or defame who I was going to be. Because I realized a long time ago that nobody has to love me as long as I can love myself. That's the number one thing. It took me a long time to let that sink deep down to I would actually believe it. I would say it, but believing saying things and believing things are two different things when it comes down to your survival rate and how you want to be. And a lot of things I've taught myself and people don't believe me, but when I say I taught myself everything. I really taught myself everything. I mean, I listened to a lot of people, and I watched a lot of people make mistakes. And there's two things you can do: follow their mistakes, or take your own path. And that's exactly what I did. I took my own path, and realized that me doing that gave me the opportunity, man, and the what's the perfect word to use? So hard to explain. I want to say, I say the privilege to be a man, to be respected, because it's not given. It's not automatic, and that's one thing I was concerned about as a kid. Is how can I be and come from where I came from and still get the respect that I think I deserve without anybody knowing who I was and where I came from. And I found it out by being genuine, by being a man, by saying what you mean what you say. Don't change like the weather, right? But people don't really remember when I say change like the weather. 6 degrees a day. Right now it's like 45. So if I change it like that, I wouldn't get along with people because nobody can really get me down to saying what type of person am I really, because I changed too much. So as a kid, I realized I have to be on an even keel, regardless of what went on outside my home and my personal life, and I had to remain the same person to keep my sanity and keep my own self-respect. And that way, if I respected myself, the next person didn't have a choice. And it was eye contact. Most people don't think about that. Somebody looks you in the eye when they talk to you. It's a big thing for me as a kid. And that's all I wanted. And realized that if I was a bad person, that I would never get that. One of the things I ever wanted in life was have eye contact. And people are like, well, what does it mean to you? I was like, come up and throw in kid, man. People treat you a certain way, regardless of what you felt, where you came from, they treat you a certain way. You was always the bottom of the barrel because, if your family didn't want you, what makes you think anybody else wanted,
Yeah. So, Robert, we have about 10 more minutes before we break in the connecting time.
Yeah.
So is some of that the reason that you're always dressed up?
Yeah. Being poor, never had wearing shoes three sizes too small. Me and my brother, whoever got up first, got the good pair of pants to wear to school. Being bullied for being poor. I decided once I got to the point to where I could shield myself to where you never know what type of person I was by looking at me. That's, I figured that's the way I go. And just so how it worked out as far as me saying who I am and doing what I say I am, people get that messed up. Most people are dressed up garbage cans, if you know what I mean, that expression. And I realized that I was never going to be that. So I had to be a gentleman and be a man, all in the same voice, and dress accordingly.
So how does it impact you that many people don't know you or recognize you for being an amazing artist?
Does it bother me or how it impact me?
Impact you, yeah. Do you feel like, do you have any desire to be recognized? You're an amazing artist.
Not at all.
And if not, why not?
Because like I said, I always felt as a kid I was never important. As a person, I was always felt that way. But what I had to contribute was. So I've never been the type to want to be all out in public because I've never had that opportunity. So it never, it never bothered me. Just like I've never had money, so money doesn't excite me because I've never took anything for granted. And people, I talk to people all the time about take things for granted what that really means. When I explain it to them, they're coming from nothing. It's easy to live off of nothing because it came from nothing. So I tell you, having $20 in my pocket, I'm a rich man. You know what I mean? Especially when everything's taken care of. People cry about I don't have this, I don't have that. It's just they want all these other things. They don't need anything. It's what they want, what the next person wants. But I tell everybody, spend one day homeless. Don't wash your clothes, don't take a bath for a week, and put yourself in these other people's shoes, and you'll stop making fun or looking down on people that you think that can do better and that's not doing better. I've been, I've been everywhere. I've experienced the entire thing. Like I said, it makes me a better person. Makes me automatically humble. So I don't have to have cheese on my hamburger.
But another question I have here is like a lot of your art is Black art or images or profiles of people that are Black. Like Nina Simone or Muhammad Ali, any number. You even did a Black Jesus. Can you say a little bit about what's behind the Black art for you?
Okay, for me, I can only speak for myself. Most artists are fame orientated. They paint what they think will sell or will get the most attention. They promote themselves and not their art. For me, as a Black artist, I concentrate on Black art. I mean, I don't think about it. It's just like something I have to do. It's something that it's like a natural act. I don't wake up looking at different types of models I can draw. I wake up thinking, what type of Black art can I create? How can I showcase this and they know it's from the heart and not because I know I can make $1 off of it. And that's what most artists are stuck in right now. They mostly concentrate on how can I make a quick buck. Then, what makes me happy, what makes me want to get up and go to my art table every day. And for being a starving artist, I mean, it's not like I make, thousands of dollars every month. I mean, I have to like this to be able to sit down and knowing that I may not make a dime for 3 months, but yet I'm still happy about creating a piece every day. And that's where I'm at right now. I mean, I'm stoked about creating art just because.
So is creating unique art important to you? And if so, why or why not?
Well, it's not important to me per se because I didn't start painting till I was 47 years old. So the art of imagination was far gone. It's a little different when you start off as a small child. Your brain develops differently. You look at things differently. You take on the world as as it's your oyster. Once you get up in age, you're pretty much set. It's still hard for me right now to come up with stuff. I mean, I can do abstract art maybe, but I'm too self-conscious on me setting my ways on what other people think of my work if I decide to put it out there. So that's what I'm trying to break out of that shell now, not really caring about what the next person really thinks about what I do, and it's strictly on how I can produce my own art and everybody looking for it, So basically, I'm making a line across here to give an illusion of water. And basically, like I say, once you do that first piece, you can turn anything the way you want to turn just by a simple brushstroke. And that's how I taught myself. I've been on a plane once, come from Arizona, but I've never seen the ocean. So everything that I paint because I've seen on TV somewhere. It's not like I've ever been there. So when people talk to me about, how can I paint like this? Tell them I don't know. I just, when it comes to art, I have photographic memory. That's just with art. Anything else? No, it's a blank. But I don't forget things artsy, you know what I mean? And they say that's what stands me apart from all the other artists, is that I can paint things or paint stuff that I've never been to or never seen before. Just what I think a wave should look like, never seen an actual wave. But basically, I'm just making lines and making your mind think that I'm painting waves in the water. And that's basically what art is. It's all an illusion.
Robert, but this might be a good time for for us to transition into our breakout time, where people will have about 25 minutes to reflect on your conversation, your art. What are they seeing? What are they feeling as they break into their into the dyad, this small group? And so as we gather into our breakout time, so remember to introduce yourself to who is in the room with you, in the Zoom breakout with you. Choose any and all of the questions from the list, or something that you gleaned from the conversation with Robert, or the impact of his art and process. But to hear from each person in your group and to speak from your own experience. Please try to use I statements and listen with the kind of intimacy and depth that is uncommon so often in our conversations in everyday life. So as we break out of that, so what resonated with you when you have your surroundings as an artist and you see them, or the impact that art has on you? And then what are you curious about? And then in about 25 minutes, we'll come back together and you'll have opportunity to have conversation directly with Robert.
Hey, everybody, we're going to go in our breakout rooms. Go ahead and click the join button when you see it pop up.
And Robert was willing, I guess he'll be working on the art, so.
There we go.
So Robert, are you feeling okay about the time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely all good. Look at that.
Hey,
Man.
Dan.
Yeah, I saw the timer is wrong. What were you going to say, Jen?
Oh, go ahead and figure that out. I have a.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to close the rooms and then to do this, so that's awkward. Dang it! I don't know how to do this on the fly while they're in the room. Anybody know, Sumner?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can modify the time.
All right, it's my turn to be sheepish.
I'm just so jealous.
Robert, was there anything that you wanted to discuss that we didn't bring up?
Y'all good, man.
I did this last week, Dan, to the Be the Work crew, so they're getting used to it, I think.
I'm only, but I do this like every day, so It's just a lot of buttons to press. I'm glad I'm not an airline pilot. There would be a lot of mistakes. A lot of people would die. All right.
Well, welcome back, everyone.
Yeah, I gotta take my blood sugar.
Yeah. Invite you to, in the chat, share something from your conversation, your breakout conversation. We have about 10 minutes that this is your time to have direct conversation with Robert. So questions you may have, reflections you may have from your breakout, or things that you may be curious about. This is time for you to have time with Robert, and Robert to have time with you. So you can write it in the chat. You can raise your hand, and our very able team will call on you. I see. Jen, you want to help us out with what may be in the chat?
Yeah, Brenda has written to the group. She says, our group is curious about Robert's experiences between the ages of 10 and 47.
Oh.
Wow.
You want him in Kendrick in the comments? Kendrick, and you working with the youth doing that?
Yeah. Let's see. Can you repeat the question again, please?
Yeah, it does sound like the question is about your experiences between the ages of 10 and 47, but also
My experiences? Wow. I was a throwaway kid. Boys' homes, institutions, and orphanages until I was 18. Then wow. I've done a lot of things. But basically, I had to become a man, living my life in and out of boys' homes and orphanages. That was my main meat and potatoes as a 10-year-old to 18. 13 sets of foster parents, put it that way. My first girlfriend is my foster mom. Y'all catch that? I was in an institution, met a counselor, and started a relationship, and I ended up going to court and got out as her foster son. I have a crazy life. Yeah. I did a lot of work. I was a gardener for 15 years until I got sick, and then I became an artist. So I was a professional gardener. Made $175 an hour. So that's my experience pretty much from 10 to 47. Developed diabetes at 47, spent 9 days in intensive care. That's how I became the pain. The man upstairs gave me a gift and sat me down in intensive care to let me know that he wasn't happy with how I was living. So that's why I'm an artist right now. That's it. I hope that answered your question.
This is Teresia. And we, in our chat, we talked about your resilience and the fact that you were able through your art, which is a God-given gift, like you said, it wasn't something that was forced upon you, it was something that you have to do, and that God gave this to you. We were fascinated with that. And my question is, at 46, after your diabetes diagnosis, what was it or who was it that saw your gift? Or was it the fact that you internalized it yourself and saw what you were given?
I actually saw it myself. I'm never in awe about anything I do, but sometimes I in awe about I should not be alive. And I'm so in awe that I'm still above ground and the man upstairs still have love for me that he actually gave me this gift. And sometimes I sit and I cry by myself when I think about the things I went through, and I could have been doing this years ago, but not knowing that I had this gift and reflecting on it, it just makes me want to get up every day just to see how today is going to be. I was never that type, even as my darkest days, thinking about ending it all, because I couldn't wait to see what tomorrow brought. You know, whether it was good or bad. If I died, I would never know. That was my main thing, just, make it another day. How can tomorrow be better than today? If you're at rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. And that was the only thing that kept me, thing to keep me alive just today is thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. Today's already done. We're already here today. And we're not promised tomorrow until we wake up. So I tell everybody, well, how you doing today? I woke up. I tell everybody that. PK knows that's my question. How are you doing today? I woke up. And I'm good until I lay down tonight because tomorrow is not promised. And once tomorrow gets here, then I have to start my day. I can't complain about anything that goes on because I'm here. That's about it. I'm sorry if I talk too long, but it's just that I can only give honest answers about what I go through and how I feel on a day-to-day basis. So, but I am proud about that. I have a chance now to work with kids. Something I never experienced. Being a kid myself, having something that kids actually like. I guess that's what I want to say. They look at me strange until I pull out my artwork. And then it's quiet, and that's why I like, I have everybody's attention. Then, you know what I mean? They can be jumping off the wall until I pull out my art and paintbrush, and then I got everybody's attention. And that's never happened to me before, and anything else about, except when I paint and when I draw. And that keeps me the happiest because I know that I'm making somebody's day somewhere just by seeing what I do. And that's what's important to me. Another thing is I don't sign the front of my work either. Because to me as an artist, what I do is more important than who I am, if that makes any sense. I'm not about self-promotion because I know who I am. I know what I've been through. And to keep somebody happy is I keep my mouth closed and produce what I can to give them some, it's like a quiet knowledge. You know what I mean? So sometimes people look at my work, oh my God, you've been through a lot of things. And then I was like, how can you tell? And I was like, by what you paint. And I was like, no, because if I told you the things I've been through, you was like, well, how do you even paint? And that's another thing is I don't let my emotions dictate what I put down on canvas or what I put down on a piece of paper. So you'll never know how I feel about a life or about what I'm going through by looking at my artwork. I could be the most depressive person in the world, but I will paint happy things all day long because I'm an artist. I mean, I think a lot of artists lie about their life and about what they do and how they feel, just to get knowledge and be seen and be heard. As an artist, in my darkest days, I couldn't paint or draw anything because it would be too dark, too depressing. So most people, when they paint and they say they paint dark things, it's all about they want exposure and they want people to recognize them as an artist and not what they produce as an artist. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You guys, that makes sense to you guys? You gonna lose everybody?
No. People like
Yeah,
that.
that makes sense.
Yes,
that's how I've always lived my life. It's been about my own perception of what to do, right thing to do, not because people think it's the right thing to do. Somebody give me a serious question. Make me sweat.
Someone asked if you would do a portrait of me.
Yes,
So then the answer is no.
Yes. PK owes me a painting too, so.
So we just have a couple minutes, maybe 2 more minutes. If no one has a question, I have a question. Where do you find community?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I know that you're a lot of your story is what you do and for and with people, but where do you find your sense of community? Like some people have church, some people have yoga. Or what do you?
That's the thing.
Where you beyond solitude?
I've been on my own for so long and so many years, man. It never enters my mind that I'm by myself every day. It never does because I'm used to me. And people don't understand that is there's two different. You could be lonely and you could be alone. I choose a lot of times to be alone because I'm never lonely because I have me. You know, and it's like, you know, for years, that's all I ever had was me. You know, so I can, you know, and I tell everybody at the end of the day, the only person I can really count on is me, because I know I'm never gonna let myself down. You know, so like I said, in the community, man, I find community everywhere because it is everywhere. But you know, at the end of the day, community is always within myself because I've always had to deal with myself. You know, I've always had this the things I found out that I was moving off the left, right. I had to straighten myself up by seeing myself messing up. You know what I mean? By not by knowing that's not right. You know, internally knowing that's not somebody tell me, dude, that's not right. You know, I always been able to correct myself and put myself on the right path and not have anybody else do it. That's, you know, how I found out I could accept being by myself, you know, and being happy with it or being content.
You know what?
What?
We're gonna have to do this again, because I want to have more of that community conversation with you. So, yeah, we're
kind of like this. It's kind of cool.
It's been wonderful, and it would be great to have you back sometime, and all of you back as well. So thank you as we come to this time of our transition, and as we think about Thanksgiving, and again, our grounding this evening, remembering the people whose land we are on, and the God whom we all share. So a reminder that today is Give to the Max. So remember the Center for Leadership and Neighborhood Engagement, CLNE, or many of the other opportunities that you have to give back and support our community. And then also on December the 3rd, T. Michael Rimbaud and Dakota present Hands and Hearts for the Arts. And a number of the artists who will be in that celebration were really centerpieces for our healing our city back during the Derek Chauvin trial. So we'll be at the Dakota, and again, a wonderful opportunity to celebrate with our community. And again, our next come together will be in January. We will not gather together in Zoom in December, but on January the 18th, we look forward to all being back together and celebrating the new year. Again, thank you all, and we wish you all of the best. We have 3 minutes, so share this time. And what we will do is Robert has given us the 2 art pieces, so if you're inclined to purchase a piece or any of Robert's other art, we will also do a promotion of tonight's come together with art with these 2 pieces from Robert to let people know the opportunity to celebrate with Robert and the gift of his art, and celebrate the fact that we are in Robert's community and Robert is in ours. Thank you all very much. Blessings.
Thank you guys for having me.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.